competition and bust your tail to figure that into your program, you're going to be better. That's your takeaway from here. If you'll take that away, that I'm going to structure my practice, we're going to have a new concept, a new approach, I'm going to light these kids up, my staff is going to be fired up, we're going to be all jacked up, you'll be better. Competition will help you also. But now you take it a step further, and you put your philosophy together, you get your mind right so that you can express it, one, so that you can look at it and say, okay, that's what it is. That's an enormous accomplishment. You have to write it down. You look at it, the words fit, you feel okay. Okay, I'm feeling good enough about this, I can go tell my offensive and defensive coordinator about it. I can tell my position coaches what's going on with our philosophy. So now they can act in accordance and support you. It's our job to do this because you've got to be good. You've got to be the best you can be. You kids you're counting on it. You can't think of any other way. So work at it. Bust your tail a little bit and figure this out. You've got to ask some questions. What I did, and my story is real simple. I was sitting at home. I was fired at New England. I had some time off. I had free time. Somebody sent me a book, Coach Williams' Blue Book. I'm reading through it. It said in his 16th year at UCLA, he won his first national championship. Couldn't close the book fast enough. I was so pissed. I was pissed at me. God dang it. Because I knew what happened. He won 10 of the next 12 years. He won a national championship. Couldn't even touch him. He won 88 games in a row at one time. He was so far out there that nobody was in his class. And think about it. His coach was his own man. He was his own way. He had his own style. When he got it right, nobody could touch him. When he finally figured it all out, he was unstoppable. And I thought, God, I better get my act together. I've been working for years to get my philosophy right, and I still don't know what it is. See, I've been coaching for 30 years, or whatever the heck it was. And I'm starting all over again. You need to do it too. You need to figure it out so that you can be the best you can possibly be, which is about winning forever, which is about the only way to do it is compete. It's the whole philosophy here all in one. So I got a little time for some Q&A here. I'm going to do a time, okay? Okay. Well, Q&A. What do we got here today? Yes? Coming to the front. This is an open mic. Sit ahead. What do you got? Yes?
Coach, what do you consider wins a football game? Offense or defense?
What wins? Taking care of the football. And then offense, defense is taking care of the ball. If you're on offense, let me say it this way. The very first thing I say to our football team in fall, when we come to camp, or when it's the start of the offseason, the very first words out of my mouth, I walk to the podium with a football in hand, and I say, our philosophy of football is, it's all about the ball. And I start railing on the football about how important it is for everybody on offense to take care of it forever. If you want to take it a little general way, figure this out, guys. Whoever controls the football wins. If you're giving it up and giving it to them, they're going to beat you. I mean, that's how it goes. Let me give you a stat. How about this one? At USC, when we had a plus turnover ratio, it means we had one more turnover than the other team had. 53 games of that. And we had that. What do you think? How many games do you think we lost? None. 53-0 when we had a plus turnover ratio. Can I make a statement that's more powerful than that? Plus turnover ratio, USC, y'all watched it, 53-0. Why is that? I can't get a more compelling stat. Now, fortunately, I'm kind of proud to tell you that I had this thought before we got to SC, but we went through it. That's the numbers that came out. So the most important thing you can do is to convey to your football team, from the quarterback to the left tackle to the receivers, to everybody, that they've got to take care of the football. How you get it done is to train your defense that they don't play defense to stop them. They don't play defense to play good, tough, 3-and-out football. You play defense to get the ball. That's it. That's it. Think of 10 other things you're wasting time. Get the football. Every zone we call, every pressure, every technique, every slant, rush, blitz coverage is to get your hands on the football and get it away. And you practice like that day in and day out, so the offensive players get accustomed to guys ripping at the ball, trying to knock it down. Every single incomplete pass at the Seattle Seahawks, the ball's on the ground, a defensive player goes screaming in and scoops it up and takes off running with it. Every single incomplete pass in 1-on-1, 7-on-7, team drill, every day. Just to keep them so focused on the football. The Seahawks can do it. You think you guys can get that done? With kids? Of course you can. We made the point that they buy in, they understand it. So the ball is the whole thing. So there's nothing more important. To back off from that, I think if you run the football, it's really cool. I think it helps in all ways. It helps the offense, it helps ball control, it's the least chance to risk giving the ball up. and it gives your defense the element that you want, and it gives you attitude. So we start there and build out. That's why the first guy we went out to get was Alex Gibbs, to be the best running coach in history of the NFL, and he's on our staff. And so we went out with that thought to support that idea. What else? Yes.
How you doing, Coach?
Good.
My name is Coach Shannon Dorsey, California Cowboys. Question I had was...
The Cowboys are the real deal, in case you guys don't know.
I have a 9-year-old quarterback. I had him last year as a natural kid or whatnot. This year, I didn't want to really change the mechanics last year since the second year. I noticed he used to come with the ball from here, but he had a lot of velocity on it. But I was watching film, so I changed it, kept his feet right, keep his feet moving. I changed the ball, keeping it up to his ear. He lost a little velocity, but his accuracy in deep ball came along a little bit better. So what's the best approach of working with a young kid with natural ability with their mechanics?
The first thing is, and that's a really good question, is how much do you want to shift and change the guy? The first thing is to assess and watch him, like you did. You gave him a whole year to watch him. I don't know how long you have to take. You have to figure that out. But you want to make sure that you're not going to go at somebody's natural manner that's going to take away from his athletic ability. I mean, just think of baseball stances. Does everybody have the same baseball stance? Batting stance? No. Do the guys have the same windup? No. They got their own way of doing it. But when it comes time and it gets right down, strike time, everybody's pretty much the same. Everybody's release is pretty much the same. It has to come down to the natural part of it needs to be there. Guys that come from right field out here, throwing sidearm, or guys that have the slow motion. We're watching Timmy Tebow. I heard that Timmy's fallen back into his old ways a little bit here in camp because he hasn't had as much success as he wants in his new change style and all that. It's a big deal, what you're talking about. And some kids just, the throw isn't just going to be there. But everybody can develop, and there's certain parts of the mechanics that are really worth working. I caution you because this is very technical stuff, and you can screw a kid up, But the fundamentals of standing upright, good footwork, and good body position, and stepping into his throws, and following through, and it is nice. The mechanical things about guys doing these things, like you see some coaches, they make a guy look like a robot. Boy, I'm against that. Every great quarterback that ever played the game patted the ball. And you ever seen Joe Montana not pat it? Dan Marino not pat it? Peyton Manning, they all do. But we'll coach them out of doing that. That's crazy to me. There's a natural rhythm. It's a trigger and it starts. So there's things in there you just got to be careful that you don't overcoach. But as long as you're slowly processing through and you're not breaking a kid just making him fall apart, it's important. I do remember this. I'll give one little quick story. My youngest son, when he reported to Little League in the new area when we moved in, he's a pretty natural athlete. He kind of do a little bit of everything pretty well. And the coach took him and said, hey, look at you as a pitcher. He said, okay, put your foot on the mound. Okay, take a step back, rotate, elevate your left knee, follow through, and finish, And so my kid went out there and threw the ball. He couldn't do anything, He looked like he'd never thrown a ball in his life. And I'm like, Coach, okay, you can't pitch. Next guy, Well, so I think whether I'm coaching defensive backs or quarterbacks or receivers, we want to assess. We want to see and take in all the information so that we make really accurate decisions on what we're going to do with them. But then, of course, you got to coach them up, and you got to work with them. And when you find those really natural athlete kids, you got to put them in position to get the ball in their hands as much as possible. That's really an art first in coaching, so I hope it works out. What else we got? Yes.
Coach, integrating special teams, how much time do you get to it? Is it the beginning or end of practice?
Yeah, we've adjusted a little bit here at Seattle. I think we've got maybe the best format we've ever had. I've always said, every game starts with special teams, so special teams just comes first. So we always start every meeting with special teams. We start every practice with special teams. Just some silly kind of emphasis, to make sure that we're doing it and emphasizing properly. But what we've come to now is we take our specialists guys, all the special teams that are up at that day's practice, start practice 15 minutes before everybody else. They stretch for 5 minutes, and then they take a 10-minute period, which we consider it's about 3/4 of a walkthrough. They do some running, but it's not full speed. But we teach the stuff that's going to be involved in that practice, and then we stretch, and then we go right back to special teams again. And so the first period that they get to is special teams, and we're doing 10 minutes of special teams right there. So they actually get 10. It's 5 stretch, and then 10 in pre-practice, 10, and then we also come back to get a PAT field goal every day right after 7-on-7. So we're actually getting only 15 minutes a day plus the 10 minutes in pre-practice, and we need every minute of it. And now we're blessed that we have a special teams coach and all that, and the kickers are off working all day long, so they get other stuff. done during the day, but the actual teams part of it is that's it. So it's actually if you add it up, you want to get it all. It's